Hey guys, before we get into it, we are going to be in Townsville on the 27th and we're going to be in Cairns on the 28th. That's the end of the regional tour. Get your tickets.
This Thursday and this Friday, and Spears vs. America
is coming out on the 27th as well. My TV pilot, grab that. And also, our Melbourne Comedy Festival shows are on sale now. You can see us back to back, same venue, different times. Do that. It's going to be great. And Luke is going on tour across the country.
I'm going on tour with a brand new show. I'm starting off at the Melbourne Comedy Festival. Then I'm doing Albury, Wollongong, Canberra, Newcastle, Sydney. That show is already half sold out. Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast, Brisbane, selling very quick. Adelaide, Geelong, Bunbury, and Perth. Everywhere.
Everywhere. Get your tickets. Enjoy the episode. Episode 63 of the Luke and Lewis Show. You alright? You just punched the roof,
yeah,
Luke.
That's okay.
Not the best way to start the show.
I was trying to do an energetic start to the show, and we're in a very cramped van, and I was
very cramped.
Finger hit, but that's okay. We're doing it, and it's another van episode of the podcast. We are in Airlie Beach. This episode.
Coming off the back of an emergency episode, which was released. I'm happy to report that no one has died, despite how much we talked about that last episode.
What did we talk about?
I think we talked about...
We should have probably checked this before starting, because that's the last thing our audience has heard, but we did that weeks ago.
Vaguely, I remember we talked a lot about death, as we do every emergency episode.
Yeah, pretty grim. I don't know why people still listen to them. We were joined by a Russian guest.
Yeah, we had a
very
Russian
kind
guest.
Man.
Yeah, he was cool, wasn't he? He kept yelling about grenades, though.
Yeah,
which was
I think he was quite troubled.
Yeah, he was. PTSD.
If you missed that episode, go check it out. We were joined by the first Russian guests on the show.
Yeah, we've been surrounded by Russians for a very long time. Never had one invade the show.
No. But
so that was good.
Last week that happened, and we're back, regular live episode. Yep. I mean, not live. It's
pre-recorded.
We're recording this on Monday night.
Live for us, but not for you.
In a caravan park next to, can we talk about this? Next to 4 European 18-year-olds in a van.
Like a van.
Like we thought 4 dudes in a motorhome was pushing it.
And it is. It is. We know it's pushing it because I slept on the floor last night and the van was tilted and I kept waking up to me rolling into the bathroom door. So
That's
definitely pushing it.
We parked our van incorrectly yesterday. Well, not incorrectly. Dylan and I were parking it, and then we went, this is on an angle. And then we went, fuck it. And then we just slept on a slant.
Yeah, and I didn't think it would matter. It fucking mattered a lot.
Yeah, but that's kind of like the energy of where the tours got to at this point. It's like,
it's shit anyway.
A 10-degree angle slant is not going to make sleeping on the floor any better. Or any worse.
Yeah, it did make it a lot worse, actually. I've seen the before and the after, and I think I might need an X-ray after that. So it's definitely much, much worse. But in a sense, the shitter this gets, the better it will be when we get home.
I'm so excited for a bed. I know that's such a classic thing to say, but I'm so excited for it. I don't care.
Yes.
I get it now.
Yeah, the advertisements
and by the way,
of this...
people always go, I'm so excited for my bed. I'm excited for our bed.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what bed it is.
Our bed. A straw bed in a fucking barnyard. That'd be good. That'd be better than this. You know, at least it wouldn't be made out of a table.
Literally, Jesus had better accommodation when he was a baby than us.
Oh, for sure. This what you guys are seeing now, if you're watching on YouTube, this table becomes a bed.
And this is why it's fucked. You ready?
Yeah. That's all I heard last night was Keelan tossing and turning, fucking squeaking. I don't know if it picks it up here.
Yeah. That's all we can hear.
That's it.
When the car's driving as well. So you know how we have to drive 5 hours a day? Imagine an engine noise. Like you do an engine, Lewis. You just hear shit 80s music to try and cover it. And that's pretty much what our life has been like for 6 weeks. Or 3. I don't know where we are.
Yeah, it would be good to go home, sit in your room and not hear like the sound of an oven falling apart.
Yeah.
Because you're driving. That would be good.
You know what I'm excited to do?
What?
Have a wank.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think we've talked about this on the show before. I don't. Maybe we haven't. Anyway, I don't wank.
No, ever. I don't think we have.
Oh, I just told you off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about this a lot.
Well, now it's public.
I rarely do.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't watch porn anymore. I've stopped doing that.
Oh, no, I've talked about this on my podcast. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
You
on
must
this
have.
one.
Okay, yeah. Porn for me is like every couple of months, and then I'm like, why did I do that? I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
I don't watch it anymore.
I've never got round the proper like Riley Reid. Like, you know how people have famous porn stars?
Oh, famous porn stars suck.
I honestly only know who famous porn stars are from watching Logan Paul
Me too.
videos and David Dobrik and the Racker Boys.
I legitimately did not know who Lana Rhoades was
No, I didn't know
until
she
I
was
saw
that.
her in Logan Paul's vlog. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, she looks like a lovely, beautiful lady. And she
But
is.
that's the thing. I know a lot of people that's how off porn I am.
Yeah.
I've watched a bunch of videos because Logan Paul's popping now on YouTube, by the way.
Yes.
His vlogs are really entertaining.
Amazing.
And it's really good content.
Really, really good. All he had to do was steal everything that David Dobrik does, and now I thoroughly enjoy
It's
it.
kind of that, but it's because I feel like what makes David Dobrik good is the friends around him like all want to be in it.
True. Logan's friends
Logan's
don't
friends
have it.
aren't as good.
Nah.
But Logan has it though, like in the
Yes.
producing team behind the vlogs. Like, let's
Yeah.
do this. The ideas are there now.
Yes,
The
yeah.
ideas back in the day of like Suicide Forest, I'm not there. You know what I mean?
Not really there. You know, good in theory.
Yes.
And in execution, looked a bit like an execution.
Yes. Well, that was the problem with it, the execution.
Yes. Yeah. Of his own career.
So.
I'll tell you when I used to watch porn a lot when I was a teenager, like
Yeah.
everyone,
No,
like everybody, like
just quickly.
16, 15 to like 17, 18.
Just quickly before we move on, my original point was, I saw Lana Rhoades, who was like apparently one of the #1 porn stars in the world, and I'm so off porn that I still haven't like looked it up.
Yeah,
So I've watched a bunch of videos with her in it, and still
Yeah.
wasn't curious
Curious
enough to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder what her tits look like. I'm like, oh, she's a white chick. She's gonna look like every other porno.
Yeah. You know what? Famous porn stars, it's shit. You don't want to go for the professional stuff. If you're watching it, you got to go homemade, you know?
Yeah, amateur.
Dirty webcam.
Okay, I don't know what you like. It doesn't have to be dirty, like as in physically, like
No,
dirt
the acts
on the
don't
webcam.
have to be dirty. I mean, like a dirty webcam. Like
Yeah.
they've never done this before.
Yeah.
They're like setting it up. It's blurry and
Yeah.
smudged.
Yeah.
There's an episode of Seinfeld playing in the background.
Dude, I've always hated that when
That's
you're
the
trying
worst.
to get into a mood.
Yeah.
And then one time I was watching this, like, I was like some college thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was like a bunch of people, right? A few
A
people.
bunch of people.
No, a few people, like
Yeah.
having fun in a dorm.
Yeah.
And then, like, halfway through, it was silent. Then some dude in the background thought it would be a good idea
Yeah.
while, like, having, like, an orgy was like, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, that's not
I want
good.
you in my room.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. And it just killed the vibe.
Why is it always those songs too? It's always like that.
Hang on, what song would be better? What song would make that better?
I don't want any
Like
music.
Aerosmith. I don't want to close my eyes.
Maybe a bit
I
of
don't
Shannon
wanna
Knoll. What
fall
about
asleep.
me? Imagine fucking the
Our
Shannon
tour
Knoll.
manager is sitting up in his bunk bed going, what the fuck are you guys talking about? He's like, so what's the show? This is the
Yeah.
show.
Oh, we should explain. Have we explained who Dylan is?
Oh, yeah, so Zach is gone.
Yeah.
Zach from Zactivities.
The only man who has wanked many times in the communal bathrooms.
Yes.
He couldn't take wanking in the bathroom any longer. He had to do it in Hawaii.
He said, oh, I've got to go on a surprise trip, for my friend Sam, and we've got to leave to go to Hawaii. Really, he just wanted to have a tug.
He wanted to have a
somewhere
big
else.
pull somewhere else. He's like he's a you know what Zach is? He's a scenic masturbator.
Yeah, but I was going to say, because he's always on
He's
the
like,
road.
oh, how's the Serenity?
But that's why I reckon he has no qualms with it.
Yeah,
Is
he's a tour manager for like
He's-
all of us. So he does Isaac, Frenchie, me, Luke. So he's on the road
he
more
didn't-
than any of us.
If he didn't wank on the road, he would get prostate cancer because he'd never come.
True. Yeah, he has to, like, a communal bathroom is probably light work for him. You know,
Yeah.
that's, the communal bathroom, that's easy. What about backstage in between sound check?
Yeah, well, that's pushing it. But I don't think he's upgraded much because he's gone from caravan park toilets to probably, let's be honest, like 3-4 star hotel toilets, which is a little bit better.
Yeah, because I don't think they have a private room. A little bit better, but
He's
there's
still sharing with another guy,
yeah.
for sure. Poor Connor. We also work with a guy named Connor, and
Yeah.
anyway.
So guys, porn rots your brain. That's what we're saying.
Anyway, what were you saying about when you're 15, 17?
That was when I was on Pornhub, like every team.
Oh, okay.
And I was saying,
Yeah,
like,
I guess
here's
same.
where I checked out in terms of
yeah.
knowing who the porn stars are. I checked out at Asa Akira.
I don't know who that is.
Some bitch.
Hang on, did you watch so much that you just had enough, or did you watch something so bad that it put you off for life?
No,
Kind of like
I
when you
never-
have bad sushi, you're like, oh, don't want it
I
anymore.
I never watched weird shit. Actually, for a period, I got obsessed with this website called eFucked, which is like porn outtakes and all of the weird shit.
Oh,
but I
you
wasn't
watched that
like
for a
getting off
joke.
to it. I was just
Oh
fascinated.
yeah,
by
I've
it.
seen videos on Facebook of chicks farting in guys' faces.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
that
Yeah.
shit. Like, I would check this website. I think it's still running. They just post like all of the like hilarious and disgusting parts of porn, and I would check it. Like, I would watch it and I would blast through like all of the recent videos, like maybe 30 videos, just skipping through, watching all the fuck stuff, and then I would get so disgusted by it, I wouldn't go back on the website. But then 3 months later, I'd be like, fuck it, let's have another look, and I've got all
Right.
these new posts. I would like binge and then abandon it.
I mean, that must be a dirty feeling because like the feeling
Well, some of
when
it
you
was
watch
funny.
porn and then after you blow,
Yeah.
you're like, that's a dirty feeling.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what it feels like to watch a bunch of fuck stuff,
Yeah.
then not come, then just
Yeah.
feel so gross.
Yeah, there was
You
no
just-
like
there's-
fully clothed, definitely not aroused at all, just like disgusted but also
Yeah,
fascinated,
that's the thing.
sometimes
It's
laughing.
just the disgusted feeling without the arousal, which is the appeal
Yeah.
of porn.
Yeah, you
so
know
you're
what?
watching porn for none of the appeal, none of the reasons why you should watch it.
Doing that shit is almost like porn in reverse. Like you get the disgusted feeling first,
Yeah.
but then you just stop.
But yeah, there's
You're like, this
no
is
part
gross.
two.
Yeah, and I don't want to have sex at all anymore with anyone
Yeah.
ever because it's yuck. So guys, porn rots your brain. You know what's wrong with a little imagination in the shower?
I don't want to go into this. It's just four dudes right now. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
it's getting a bit
testosterone
too
in
deep.
here, and Lewis started talking about
Yeah.
imagination in the shower. I
Guys, we're 3 weeks into enforced no-fap February,
don't,
and times are dire. You know, do you reckon this is what people in third world countries do? Like they sit around talk about food. Like, man, one time I ate bread, and I'm like, bro, that's crazy.
Oh,
One time I found
because
that-
they're into 3-week famine.
yes,
At this point.
yeah. So they just sit around talking about food that they ate once.
Yep. Yeah, probably. I
Mm.
mean, that'd be a waste of energy, though.
That would be. I feel like that would make you hungrier. Like this isn't making me hornier.
I'm at the point now where, like, honestly, sometime this week, you know, if Killen rolls out of bed and he's looking okay, I might jump him. Because
Really?
again, we don't have a HR department.
We don't.
So there's
We
quite
are
literally,
HR.
I mean, except for the law, there's nothing really stopping that.
Well,
Except for the law,
yeah.
that's illegal.
Well, I don't know. We're in northern Queensland.
Oh, then there's nothing stopping that. Yeah, it's pretty much like pretty rogue out here. Like today we were just not crazy. Like people aren't stupid. People are just a little bit more loose.
Yeah.
Like today we went to these waterfalls called the Cedar Waterfalls, I think. Cedar Creek.
It was fucking beautiful.
And it was about like a 800-meter walk from where we had to park our van because we couldn't drive over because there was like flooding
Yeah.
going over this road. So everyone had to park and then walk the
We had
last
to
bit.
cross this like flooded road that it was a
You
river
could walk
at
across
this point.
it, but you couldn't
Yeah.
drive across it or your car would end up down the river.
No
probably.
way. The current was super strong, and like before you step into the flooded road, signs everywhere going, "Do not get in water. Crocodiles, alligators."
Yeah.
And we were like,
Alligators.
should be fine. Or
Really?
crocodiles.
We in
not
America?
alligators. No, we're not in America.
That would be a warning. I'd be like, well, that's something.
Alligators are the bigger ones, yeah? Or are crocodiles bigger?
No, alligators are smaller
Oh,
than
okay.
crocodiles.
Well,
But like, I'm sure the biggest alligator would be big, right?
I bet.
No?
I
I'm
bet
looking at
they'll
Dylan.
both kill you.
Saltwater crocodiles. Yeah, some saltwater
Okay.
ones get to like 6 meters.
Fuck that. That's
Yeah.
like 3
I've
of
seen
me.
them in Darwin before. I went on one of those croc cruises where they hang meat out over the side of the
Oh.
boat and they jump up and snap it.
That's
And
crazy.
you like all the tourists are there with the cameras. They're like in 3, 2, and they dangle it over, and everyone's like, just put shutter on.
Crazy.
Yeah. There's always like
Why are you taking
Japanese
photos of
people
that
with
shit
iPads
instead
there
of watching
just-
it?
Huh?
Why are you taking photos instead of just watching it?
Oh yeah, I mean I was 10. I was watching it. I didn't
yeah,
have a
like
camera.
I never understood that shit.
Yeah.
Like going to like seeing a thing you'll probably never see again and just be like, oh, I'll take photos of it. It's like you can Google it.
I mean, they did it a few times though. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I
they have
guess
a
you get
few.
one.
But anyway, so we're walking through this thing, and this is why people are loosey here. We had 800 meters to go. Some bloke drove through in his big kind of like four-wheel drive kind of like Hilux thing.
Yeah.
And
Covered
was
in
like,
tattoos.
boys, do you want to jump in the back of me ute? I'll give you a lift up. And then Lewis looked at me like concerned. Dylan and I just had
My immediate thought was no fucking way. And then I look over, Dylan's already in the tray.
Dylan and two managers already in the truck. And I was like, oh, thanks, mate. That's awesome.
And then I just had to get in. And we got in, and then he starts driving away. And then Keelan goes, wait, I'm not in yet.
And then he goes, oh, sorry. And then slams on the brake as Keelan's trying to get in.
And then he starts driving when Keelan's only halfway in.
Yeah. And then, by the way, didn't slow down. This was the loose part. It's not like he was like, oh, I've got 4 guys in the back. I'll slow down.
No.
He was like, all right, 60 kilometers back
I
to
think
it.
he sped up. I think he, like, even if we weren't in the tray, he was driving at a dangerous speed down that road. Like, windy, wet road. Definitely dangerous. But also kind of fun.
It was pretty fun.
I had this moment in the tray. I was like, this is literally Ted Bundy. Like, that's what he did. Hey, do you need a lift?
I mean,
yeah, sure. And then we all end up chopped up into pieces.
I don't think he got them in the back. I've watched the documentary. There was never any point where a female hopped in a tray of a Hilux.
Ivan
in a ute
Milat
tray.
there. Damo Bundy.
Yeah. Yeah, look.
Damo Bundaberg.
He could have driven us off a cliff.
That
if
was
he wanted
exactly
to.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Was just if he goes off a cliff, this is it.
That's why it's a very
To
Queensland
save
thing.
7 minutes of walking.
Yes, it's a very Queensland thing to just trust a stranger. And Dylan, we were talking about it before the show. We don't have another mic, by the way. Otherwise, we would have him on, but we couldn't find the cord. And if you want to listen to the exclusive audio of us looking for the cord, that
During
is in the
our
Patreon.
sound check,
That's in
yeah.
the sound test on the Patreon.
Every month we release all of the sound checks we do for every episode
Yeah.
as one file. Sometimes it's like 15 minutes, sometimes it's 40 minutes. It really
It's
depends
just a
on what we're
podcast of
doing
us,
before.
whatever we're doing right before we turn on the mics.
Yes.
Which is confusing sometimes to the listener. And sometimes it's just, you ready? Yeah. Leg, chef.
Test. All right. Okay, that looks good. Let's go.
And other times it's full exclusive conversations. Anyway, what was I saying?
Well, we were trying to find the mic.
Oh, yeah. So Dylan, the tour manager who's taken over from Zach. So Zach flew back from Bundaberg, and then Dylan met us up in Rockhampton before the show. And
Dylan would have to be the most stereotypical hippie Aussie surfer I've ever met
not
in
hippie,
my fucking
just
life.
like Gold Coast, the most Gold
There's
Coast
a little
guy
bit
I've
of
ever
hippie
met.
in there. Like, yeah, man,
I mean,
whatever.
True. Today we watched him climb a coconut tree.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And a waterfall. He's your mate who just didn't stop climbing shit when he was a child.
He said,
like, when I was 9, I was like, that's enough for me.
He said the other day, he goes, oh, my dad sent me a letter when I was 18. It wasn't really supposed to be funny. It was just really serious. He's like, oh, he sent me a letter that he was surprised that I was alive. And that's his vibe.
You're surprised that he made it to 18. Not because of any drugs or alcohol, just because of the constant doing dumb shit. Like, fuck, I wonder if I can get up there. That's what Dylan's thinking, like, 24/7. He's just looking up and going, I wonder if I can get there.
No, today was different. I was looking at the coconut tree, and because we were like, there's no coconuts around. And then Dylan goes, well, there's heaps up there. And he pointed at the top of a 10-meter tall coconut tree.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, yeah, but
obviously, that's where they come from.
Yeah, and then I was like, obviously, well, we're not going to go up there. And he's like, oh, I could get up there. And I was like, no, you couldn't. And he goes, yeah. And then he just took off his shirt and climbed a 10-meter tall coconut tree, ripped some off, and then on the way down, just cut up his whole stomach. And he goes, yeah, that always happens. I was like, well, why did you do it?
He's still sporting the wounds now. This is the man who has stabbed himself in the chest trying to cut open a coconut.
Yeah. And once in high
Giant
school,
gash wound in his chest, just like the knife broke and he stabbed himself in the chest.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I am also surprised that you're still here.
all these stories that he tells us, like we've been talking in the car because we have so much driving to do. Dylan just tells me stories, like only stories that would happen in North Queensland.
Yeah.
This is one that happened at school, right? He went on a school camp, stepped on what was it, a stonefish? a stonefish,
Yeah.
and they're quite poisonous. No one knew what to do, and at the time they were like, oh, they thought it was like a jellyfish. Like maybe if you
Jellyfish
piss on
sting,
it,
yeah.
maybe if you wee on it, we'll do it better.
It'll
But
ease the pain.
he was on a school camp, so
Primary
he's
school, yeah?
no high school.
High school?
His teacher watched Dylan's mate, who was also in high school,
Yeah.
piss on him in front of the whole class.
Yeah.
So Dylan was there on the ground with his mate pissing on him, the entire class watching, and the teacher just watching on going like, well, fuck, it's better than nothing.
Who was the teacher? Mr. Kelly?
Huh?
R. Kelly?
No, Mr. Harris.
That
Yeah.
is an interesting position for the teacher to be in.
Weird
because
dynamic.
Can you piss on the kid
No.
to save his life?
Did you think it was a life-threatening situation, Dylan? Nah.
No, okay.
But if see, that's the thing.
In what situation can a
Teacher
guardian
piss
that
on
is
you.
not a parent piss on a child?
If the kid asked for it.
Yeah.
No,
Or
no.
if you want like a 6-part Netflix docu-series.
Yes.
Like if you really want one, it seems to be murdering 17 women or
Yeah.
fucking kids seems to be the only way you can get on Netflix
Or
these
just
days.
doing a stadium tour, being a pop star, but that's a lot harder.
Fuck that.
So, but yeah, Dylan is like our unofficial tour guide. I described it before we started just recording as you're like a tour guide if he was uninformed and didn't really give a fuck about being a tour guide.
Yeah, didn't know any of the details, just kind of knew the vibe of each area and where the best place to climb is.
Like, this is an example. I walked past a tree and they got those big, long, snow pea looking things hanging off it, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, what's that? And he goes, I don't know, but when they die, they sound a little bit like maracas. Now, that is information. It's not what I asked. It's not
No.
what I was looking for, but I also learned something.
It gives
so
you the vibe.
I wasn't mad.
Gives you the vibe of the situation.
Yeah. And
We
that's kind of his thing. I'm like, oh, because he knows his way around these parts of Australia quite well because he's been up and down here a fair bit. And I'm like, oh, do you know where Thingo is? He goes, nah, but I've been to a place an hour away. And then he tells me a fuck story from there.
Yes.
So in that way, I can kind of get a
Kinda work it
vibe
out.
of the place that we're going.
Yes. Yeah. I think he's got videos of his phone of just him jumping off shit that we're like, what's the highest thing you've jumped off? And he brings up this bridge jump that he did a double backflip off, and it's like over a bridge, and you should not ever jump off it. It is so clear that you should never ever jump off it. In fact, there were other tourists crossing the bridge at the same time, and it's so clear that no one should ever drop off the bridge that they thought he was just committing suicide.
He has a video.
That was the only option in their mind of like, no one would ever jump on this for fun. This man clearly wants to die.
And by the way, Dylan showed us this video, and at no point was like, no point was like, oh man, this was crazy. It was just like, oh yeah, and look, these are the two ladies who thought I was committing, and he thought they were stupid. And I was like, yeah, man, they're the dumb ones. You just did a double backflip off a bridge, and you didn't know how deep it was.
Yeah. And we're like, why the fuck did you do that? That seems insane. You could die. Someone did die doing it.
Did
And
you
then
hear
he
his
goes,
justification?
Yeah. He goes, that wasn't the first time. We're like, what do you mean that wasn't the first time? He goes, well, I did the double backflip because the first time I did it, I only did one backflip. So I didn't,
He
doesn't
goes,
really
I
count.
wanted to do it properly. And then I was like, well, why did you even do it the first time? He goes, oh, because I used to drive by that bridge and it just used to bother me that I hadn't jumped off it yet.
So fucking strange.
And by the way, it started to rain.
If you can hear that, we don't know.
If you can, you may be able to. But dude, it's been raining like all week here. We're supposed to be in Ellie Beach to have a few days off because it's like the first time we've stopped doing shows almost every night.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of days off in Bathurst, but then you went home. You weren't
Yeah.
even there for that anyway. And then we're like, sweet, it's on a beach. It's like an awesome beach town, heaps of bars and stuff. We were at a bar the other night. It started pouring rain. And then the dance floor just started flooding, but it didn't deter.
Like up to ankles flooding.
Ankle, we're talking like people started kicking off their thongs because that's when they weren't wearing shoes. It's
Yeah.
Queensland, and just started dancing in the puddle that was the dance floor. It didn't deter anyone.
It didn't turn away a single person. They were just like, all right, now it's wet,
Yeah,
and that's it.
it was pretty wild. Anyway, so is the camera getting dripped on
Keelan, is that camera getting dripped on?
from the aircon? Dude,
This sucks.
this is just like so grim. Also, Lewis, we have bad news.
No.
Lewis-
Should we pause we have to pause the camera every 30 minutes. We're at 24.
You know
we might as
what?
well do it now.
We need to tell you about the best underwear in the game.
All right, after this. Guys, nobby.com.au to get the best underwear in the game. Underwear's so good that you just won't want to change out of it for 5 days, even though you've got sweaty nuts and it's 32 degrees.
Yeah, now-
So good.
Lewis, is this a personal endorsement?
Absolutely.
Have you done that yourself?
Yes.
Yes.
I have literally done that.
Now, if my friend who I was living with did that with any other brand of underwear, I'd be like, hey, man, get your Bonds, get your Calvin Kleins the
Yeah.
fuck out of here. Because you were doing it with the most comfy annas in the game, I was like, man, your nuts look great. Now, that's for two reasons. One, haven't wanked in a while.
Yeah.
Two, Nobby underwear looks great.
What is wanking? Oh, you're saying they're looking quite full.
I said your nuts look great.
Yeah. What does wanking have to do with it?
Huh? I was aroused.
Oh. Great.
Hang on. Is there oi fellas, is there a way to say your nuts look great and it's not a homosexual comment?
Yes.
If
Doctor's
you're wearing-
office.
Oh, no. Your nuts look well is how you should word it if you're the doctor. You should be like, mate, your nuts are looking better or well or healthy.
Yeah, looking healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't say your nuts look
You
great.
probably shouldn't say nuts in the doctor's office. You say testicles.
Testicles,
If you
yeah.
said nuts, that's a little bit gay.
Anyway, your nuts were looking great because they were in Nobby underwear, which you can get at nobby.com.au. Now, if you want your flaps to be looking great or your tits to be looking great,
Yeah.
they come in women's too.
Now, women, I definitely wouldn't recommend wearing them 5 days in a row because you have issues that we don't if you do that.
Oh,
Right?
I don't know. Lewis has hella stanky nuts, I reckon. I wouldn't know.
but I don't have to deal with discharge.
they're paying for this.
And what other brand would let us promote them like Nobby? That is why you should fucking support them.
No.
Because if we lose these guys, we're going to have to sell you fucking pharmaceuticals and give you like terms and conditions
Yeah.
and not be funny.
And then we'll actually be talking about discharge. But anyway, also, we assume that they like us promoting it.
Yeah.
Us like this.
I mean, they've signed on again.
They've signed on
That's
again.
we're
yeah.
2 in a row.
True.
We're coming up to the end, though, so hopefully,
Yeah.
if there was ever a time to get your Nobby, it's at the end of the contract when we want to renew it. So,
Yeah.
guys, nobby.com.au. It really is a testament.
And if there was ever a time to not talk about female discharge,
Yeah.
it would be now. But
Fuck.
you've already fucked that. so-
Well, guys, sound off in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on vaginal discharge? All of these comments will be sponsored by Nobby
do you
Underwear.
remember when this was a radio show?
Yeah.
And now we're like imagine it would be like, 13, 10, 60. What do you think about vaginal discharge?
Fuck, I wish we
Give
could
us
do
a call.
that.
Hey guys, first time, long time.
That would be so good.
Anyway, Lewis, it's a
really-
flexible
I was saying,
subscription.
Yeah, it's such a testament to Nobby's genuine quality that I actually didn't notice that I'd been wearing them for that
And-
long.
And it's such a testament to how funky their designs are that I noticed immediately.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you've been wearing bright yellow and pink underwear for 5 days in a row.
Yeah,
if you were just
sprung.
wearing plain black ones,
Wouldn't know.
I wouldn't have noticed. But that's, you know what? It does help me know if I've changed underwear. Now, when
Yeah.
you're touring, I know that sounds pathetic, but when you're touring, like...
It can get hard.
Like yesterday, I wore my flamingo ones. Today,
Yeah.
I'm going to wear my whale ones, my
Yeah.
boat ones. They have
Yeah.
a bunch of ones. The new ones, I don't want to spoil it, but
they've arrived.
Let's just say, if you like, let's just say the theme.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them yet. Meg just sent me a photo of the ones that came
Meg.
in the mail.
Yeah.
Meg, and that's a good one. Anyway,
Sorry, we've been doing that for weeks.
Yes.
Yep.
Vintage video game themed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Pretty cool.
That's cool. Nobby.com.au. They support us and they'll support your
So
nuts.
support
and
them
slash
too.
or tits.
Great. And your discharge. Oh, no,
No,
we should have ended
you
it. Cut
ruined
that.
it.
Cut it. Cut
Okay.
that. It killed if this is in. I'm going to be disappointed. It's going to be in now, isn't it?
Yeah. Keelan's so sick. He's made himself so sick. And you know what? He went to the doctors and he got diagnosed with what? What did he say you have?
Glandular fever.
Mate,
And he also gave me this.
he gave you this. Oh, a doctor's note.
Oh,
here we
you're
go.
kidding.
All right, what does this say?
No, this is bullshit.
It says, I hereby certify that on 24th of February, I examined Mr. Keelan Brown, who in my opinion is suffering from a medical condition.
Was it?
And will be unfit from the 24th to the 26th.
I actually said I can't take time off work because I'm on
Yeah.
touring anyway. We're gonna have to.
Did you tell him that it was from McChickens? You're McSick.
How is glandular fever from food?
Mate, you're McSick.
You're McSick.
I know you've gone to a doctor and
Kentucky
he's
Fried
You know what? He hasn't
Sickens.
diagnosed you with glandular fever. It just says medical condition.
Yeah.
You're McSick, bro.
Yeah.
You've eaten yourself into a sickness. You had 8 desserts and then spewed outside a Sizzler and you're like, oh, I've got glandular fever.
I was
You're
talking.
McSick.
I was talking to my mum on the phone the other day, and I was like, "Oh, Keelan's really sick," and she's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, he ate himself into a coma," and that being a figure of speech because you just hadn't left the van in like 24 hours. My mum, who listens to the show sometimes and has heard Keelan's mealings, goes, "Oh no, she thought you were in a fucking coma."
An actual coma. I thought he was for a minute. He was in bed for like 48 hours, no food. Your
Yeah.
body enforced you to have a detox.
But also,
It's not because of the food.
no, he reckons he's got. No, I know how he got glandular fever.
How?
He's ex. Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah.
His ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Keelan started this trip a little bit sad.
Yeah. His ex-girlfriend he reckons he goes like this before I left, so she might have it.
Mm.
Have you spoken to her since? Should probably ask her.
Where's
Because
her
otherwise,
doctor's note?
well, she doesn't work for us, so she doesn't need to supply one. So that's annoying.
But
hang on,
I would say perhaps if your diet was a little bit better, you may not have. You'd be more immune.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Nah,
No.
it's not.
Ah.
But this has happened before on tour, so that's why we thought it was that.
Yeah.
We thought you'd eaten yourself into sickness.
When has it happened before on tour?
At the end of my tour,
And apparently
you
last
got
time you
quite
went to
sick.
Perth.
And then also in Perth, because with How To Basic, you kept eating pancakes for breakfast every single morning.
Yeah, that
because-
was different. At the end of your tour,
that was different, was it?
at the end of your tour,
Yeah. Towards the end, you got quite sick, and I remember saying, I think it might be because you haven't been looking after yourself
I can't remember that.
because he was in a coma.
I definitely don't remember that.
But in Perth, you were sick.
Oh yeah, but that was definitely self-inflicted.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, but that was different to this. I got over that within hours. This has lasted 4 days.
Yeah.
That's why at first we thought it was that, and now we've since realised it's something worse. So that does suck for us because it sucks for you as well because we're just here. We're not going home for another 5 days, and you have doctor's orders to not work, and all we're paying for you to be. Yeah.
Oh, well, no, that works out quite well. So 24th to the 26th, that's 2 days. So we'll just knock those. We just won't pay him for those 2 days. So this is leisure that you're doing now. You're not working right now. Yeah, you're just having fun today.
It's like a good time.
No, Killen, we do hope you get better and back to bed. He actually has been in bed a lot. It's got to the point now where it's just feel bad for you, and I hope everything's okay. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly think it was good for your body though, because it forced him not to eat for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm not like you look.
3 days.
No,
You look so. You're sick, but dude, you look so much better.
way better, which is
You
so
do.
fucked up. When I had glandular fever, everyone was like, "Bro, you look like shit."
You look pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you, other than this, the new sickness symptoms, do you feel better generally inside your body?
No, he's
No?
got glandular fever. It's horrible.
I've never had
It's
it.
so shit.
I've never kissed a woman.
Yeah. No, well, that's okay. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, I
you
hope
guys
we all
know
don't
if
get sick.
we get sick in the next 2 weeks, you know how the last
Well,
week
no,
of
I'm
the
immune
motorhome
to it
ended
now.
up.
I've had glandular fever.
Oh,
I had
really?
it, in my Perth show started last year, 2019.
That's right.
So I think that makes you more immune to it. I
Mm.
don't know if it makes you completely immune.
Who knows?
Now, what did we want to talk about? Oh, we got thoughts.
Yeah, we've got
Thoughts.
Thorth.
Thoughts.
Thorth?
Yeah.
Welcome Mike Tyson to the show.
I've got a list. How you going, guys? And I just bite your ear. So thoughts. If you're new to the podcast, weird one to start off with, but hey, welcome. Thoughts is a segment where people send in thoughts that they've had, and we discuss them. It's a little bit philosophical at times. Now, what we do need to be wary of is 95% of the thoughts we get submitted are terrible, awful thoughts.
Bad. And you should feel bad.
To the point where sometimes I'm like, was that even a thought that went through your brain? Because you haven't put enough thought into...
Yeah.
Like, what's below a thought?
An inkling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just send through little inklings they've had, which is... But yet they...
Which is not good,
put
is
the
it?
subject as a thought, and I read it, and I'm like, no, but you didn't think about this at all.
No, you really didn't.
Thought
This is an
implies that
inkling.
you put thought into it.
Yeah, it's
And
a thought you have, and it makes you go, huh. Some of the shit...
It makes you go, Yeah.
If some of the shit that you guys are sending in makes you go, huh, you need to get checked.
all right, we can't hear the thingos properly, but...
We can't really hear the sound effects, but we hope they're happening. Is that happening?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All
Good.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thoughts.
I've got a really good one. Do you
From
want to
you?
start off? No, not from me. From a
I don't have
listener.
any thoughts. I've been doing no thinking, had heaps of inklings, but here's an important lesson to learn. I've kept them all off the show.
Yeah, I
They're not
don't
well
have any
out.
thoughts, really.
So this one, by the way, there's a few 5%ers in here, but not many.
Not many? Okay. I have one good one.
This one comes into the 95% category.
Yep.
From William. And he said, I've got some top-notch, brand new and original thoughts.
Ugh.
They were original.
Okay.
Why do buses never turn off at the bus station? Because they leave them in idling because it's... they usually just
They're
go out to
about
have
to
a
drive
dart.
away.
Yeah, because they're about to take passengers. And maybe it uses more fuel when you start them. I don't know. I bet you there's a really logical reason. And
Yeah, that's a shit thought. Do you want to know? That reminds me of a good bus thought.
Yeah.
It wasn't mine, but I saw it on Twitter, right? So, as we all know, the bus driver controls the doors opening and closing from the driver's seat. When he is the last one to leave the bus, how does he shut the door?
the car keys would do it. It'd have central locking.
You think?
Yeah.
You reckon he's got a
He'd
little car
walk
key
out
that-
and they go beep beep, and it would go. Whoop.
I don't know.
That's what happens to a bunch of cars. Although, yeah, if it's got electronic doors, think about it. If there's a button from the inside
Yeah.
that opens and closes them, the button on his keys would also have that same feature.
I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the logical
All right.
explanation for that. Do you reckon? I reckon.
I don't know.
It's
Is
just
this
like-
the button?
Yeah. William, thought number 2. So he sent in 2 thoughts.
Okay.
So, does a room get smaller every time you paint it?
That's from Reddit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is from Reddit. You've taken that from Shower Thoughts. And, sir, you should be disappointed in yourself.
But also,
Yes.
yes, it does technically, but also the reason why you paint it is because paint starts wearing thin. So you kind of gets a little bit smaller, but not by much.
Yeah.
You know what? So little that you shouldn't be thinking about it.
I think this guy might be sniffing some paint,
Yeah.
if that's his thought.
So Francisco? Francisco?
Francisco, yeah.
Francisco said, here's another 5%er for you.
Big call.
We must have
Big
deemed
call.
in the past that Francisco had a past thought that was
so
good.
he sent one in before.
So-
Okay.
Mate, you honestly, I haven't read the thought yet, but I can guarantee you should have quit while you were ahead.
Yeah.
Because 2 good thoughts are really hard to come by in a small space of time.
Yeah, 2 really good thoughts probably just means you're an idiot,
Yeah.
I would think.
Or
Like,
you
ugh.
smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah.
How and why did people decide that sweet food should be eaten after the main course, as a dessert and not before? I always love eating something non-sweet after having a sweet snack. So he thinks
Really?
we should start off with like mousse, say like a sweet dessert, a cake, and then carry on with a savory meal.
There actually is science behind us wanting sweets after a meal, especially with the diet we have as humans today.
Isn't it like because we view it as like a reward in our head?
If you have a lot of salty food, your body will literally crave sugar. So if you really want to enjoy a sweet food,
So it's like
smash some chips first, and then your
Yeah.
body will go, fuck, I need some ice cream now.
So maybe he's weird because he likes the opposite.
Yeah.
And also that was a thought, I guess, but it was really based off his personal experience, which I think not many people would agree with.
yeah.
I mean, sound off if you
I would
agree
say
with Francisco, but
that's more. You're saying his name like he's an Italian Frenchie.
I think he is.
Francisco.
I think he's from Argentina. He is. He says he's from Buenos Aires. Is that how you say
Buenos
that?
Aires.
Buenos Aires in Argentina. I've never been there. I don't know how to say it. Right? He sent in another one. Another food
I would
food
say that
thought.
one is like top 70%. Definitely not 5.
This one
Yeah.
is bottom of the barrel, bottom 10%.
Okay.
How do cultures that traditionally eat food with their hands eat hot food? How do they eat soup? They didn't eat soup.
Right, no. What do you mean they didn't eat soup?
Well, they drank it
Yeah.
with their hands.
No. With the bowl. They would tip it into their mouth.
No, but he's saying like cultures. Oh yeah, I guess those cultures also had bowls.
Yeah, because
Well,
otherwise...
was there any? I'm thinking way too primitive. I'm thinking before even bowls, they wouldn't have had soup though. So like it doesn't matter.
They
made bowls to cater for
at
hot
the
food.
bare minimum, they would have some kind of platform, because otherwise you would just be like, all right, dinner's ready, and throw it into the dirt.
Yeah.
Tuck in, kids.
If
What's
they've-
it taste like? Worms.
Well, that's the thing. If they've got technology to make soup, which is like in a bowl or a cauldron or whatever
you
it
can't
is,
make soup
without
without a container.
yeah. So
So
that's why I thought it was a shit thought. I was
Yeah,
like,
that
well, there's
is
a
a
really
shit thought.
basic
Yeah.
answer to that. He goes, I guess nowadays they just use forks and a spoon and such. But when they hadn't come in contact with these utensils, how did they do it? They didn't use utensils.
Yeah.
They drank it out of a bowl.
Or use their hands and
Yeah.
their teeth. Well, is that
Do
all you got?
No, there's heaps more, but
Oh,
I'm
good.
just thinking how stupid
Yeah.
Francisco is. The fact that he's actually, in his brain, he's imagining a bunch of people going, oh, fuck.
this is my hands. Hey, here's an idea. Maybe they waited for it to cool down, dickhead. What do you reckon? They cooked it on fire and
like
then they
this-
just put their hand in the fire. Ah, fuck! Eating dinner hurts so much.
I like that we probably don't have many listeners from Argentina, and the
Yeah.
one that does contact us, we're like, oh, listen here, dickhead. All right, this is not how we do it in Australia.
I also like that out of everyone from Argentina, we of course attracted a very dumb one.
Yeah. No, we would never attract someone intelligent in general. A thought for the podcast, boys. This one comes from Mateus. Quick thought. Why?
Bunch of manly, sexy names coming in.
Yeah, Mateus Olesko.
Francisco. Yeah.
Quick thought. Why are people more willing to go to the 12th page of Pornhub but don't look around at the second page of Google?
That's a good one.
I mean, because...
See, on the rare occasion that I go there, I'm always hanging around page 12, 13,
Wait, so
filtering results.
Well, you know what? I feel like sometimes, even though Google's not a good comparison because it's not videos. YouTube is the proper comparison
I
here.
never go past page 1 of YouTube though. Maybe that just means Pornhub's search is bad.
I think their algorithm doesn't know what you like.
Oh,
Because you
know
don't go
why?
on there as much
no,
as
it's
YouTube.
because you only use it incognito. So every time you use it,
doesn't know
you're
what
a
you
blank
like.
slate. So it's like,
Well, if you're
stepsister, feet,
but if you're an animal
lesbians,
who,
fat chicks, what would you like?
that's the thing, if you're an animal who does it on normal browser and like in all
Yeah.
your cookies and the data is saved, you're probably getting shit you want
Oh, dude.
every time.
Maybe that's why
That would change your
neither of
porning
us watch
experience.
porn, because we're not getting the full experience. Maybe we need to get Pornhub Premium,
Yeah.
get a burner laptop, and download everything. Go ham.
Burn a laptop
Yeah.
because you're still too ashamed to do it on your work laptop.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good thought though,
That is a good thought.
and I would say that it definitely once you look at talk about porn a lot in this podcast, but
Mm.
from memory, once like back in the day, like when you click on something and you did click on something you liked, the recommendations would be much more what you were looking for
That's true.
because
So you got to click on
goes
like
of-
10 things, and it goes, I know what you like, you
Pick-
dirty
that's
bastard.
how you could not have to troll through 12 pages to get something you really wanted. You could
Mm.
pick on something you were vibing and then look in the recommendations of that and go, here we are, bingo.
Would you like to hear an interesting stat about porn that will make you go, I don't know if it's a thought, but it's definitely going to make you go, I can't remember the exact figure, but it's something above 70% of women who identify as straight frequently watch lesbian porn.
Lewis, that does not surprise me whatsoever, because I think definitely I have this theory, and maybe I'm off, and you might completely disagree, and I don't want to generalize.
Ladies, sound off in the sound off section below
if you agree with me. I think most girls are a little bit bisexual.
Yeah.
Even if it's 10%.
Absolutely.
Most girls are way more open to it.
At the very least.
You know what? Because girls aren't gross.
Nah.
The reason why I'm straight is because, honestly, to me, the idea of fucking another man really puts me off.
Yes.
Like, because it's hairy.
Yeah. Because
and
if it didn't, you'd
be
be a
gay.
little bit gay.
Well, yeah,
At
or
the very least,
bisexual.
bisexual.
So it's like,
I had
that's
this
why...
argument with my girlfriend all the time of I said she didn't understand it because she's a girl.
My
and she
girlfriend
has
agrees,
that,
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this argument with Jazz all the time of like, I think that gay love, beautiful. But I think that gay sex is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't,
Yeah.
I would be into it.
You'd be participating in it.
Exactly.
'Cause it's
right?
still
and they can
sex.
do it, but if I was to look at it and watch it,
Yeah.
I go involuntarily, ugh, yuck. It's like looking at poo to me. Like everyone can poo, and I will not
make
judge
that
you.
into an inspirational quote.
Yeah.
Gay sex equals looking at poo. Loose Spears, 2020.
To a straight man, and then but also put a rainbow flag on it and write Gay Pride Month.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being gay. I'm saying that when I have seen some gay sex,
sure.
I go, yuck. For
Yeah.
me, gross. And she thinks that's me
But
being
that's why
homophobic. I just think it's me being straight.
I think, like, and the reason why that Pornhub stat is true, that straight girls, the idea of girls going down on each other is way sexier. Because
Yes.
they're like, mostly, like, as a general, like, they're shaved, like, they're you know what, girls are a lot more well kept in
Jeez,
general.
this is a fucking horny podcast, isn't it?
I mean,
We've
we
been in this
haven't
van
wanked
for
in
way
3
too long. This is getting deep. Luke is talking about how hot a woman's vagina is. This is really
You're the one
getting
who brought
too
up
deep.
discharge before.
Yeah, but I'm not into that, Luke. I was trying to be funny. Now you're just getting a little bit too fucking
I'm
horny.
not into it. I'm saying, okay, I am actually.
Put it away.
The point is, I was trying to agree with you and saying there's a reason for that, and no, I'm not surprised.
I think that most girls out there, at the very least, even if they consider themselves like 99% straight, at the very least, I would say, and sound off if I'm wrong, because I'm interested in this.
I don't think you're wrong.
That just about every single girl, at the very minimum, has seen another girl and gone, and at the least.
Yeah, and just thought, I wonder. You mightn't have acted on it, but you might have been like,
You
I
may never act on it.
wonder what motorboat and those titties is like.
Yeah.
You might have just thought that and then gone, anyway, I got to go to lunch. You know? But the other day, though, you were complimenting James Charles's ass.
He has a great ass, and I'll stand by it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a big call.
Yeah, big call.
Yeah.
He's got a good ass.
I haven't
Now, if I
seen
were
the
to
ass.
see...
Why, hang on. This is my follow-up question. Why have you seen... Was it Twitter? Why
It
have you
went
seen
crazy
James...
viral on Twitter because
okay.
that was the consensus of, holy fuck, this dude has a great ass.
Right.
Now, if I were to see James Charles having sex, disgusting. But, independent of that, nice ass.
So you're like an independent dude ass.
That's right.
Well,
That's definitely not what I said.
I think we'll end the podcast here.
I don't look at a guy who's like, knows what he wants in life and be like, fuck, love that ass, you know?
Now you're getting horny.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
getting
so
real
we
horny.
need to go work this out. I think we need to go to the shower block, have a dirty caravan
No,
park
I
wank.
got a thought here.
And then,
I have one thought. Do we need to pause the camera?
here's a thought. Let's. Oh,
We might need to pause the camera here.
okay.
3 minutes? Oh, let's pause it now. We'll get back to Luke's thought.
No, my thought
Back to
was
your
just.
thought.
I just said here's a thought. I was just
Yeah.
saying here's a thought. Let's just ease up on the,
Okay.
on the porn stuff. It's just been quite a porn heavy episode.
You know what's funny is that
They would
how
definitely
many,
this one's getting demonetized for sure.
absolutely. How many more van episodes do people have here? Because we're out of emergencies.
Oh, just Thursdays. We'll be back in the warehouse on Monday. We get back on Saturday.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So Thursday
You
might
don't even
be,
know what's happening, do
Thursday
you?
might get age restricted. I got
Yeah.
no idea what's happening. I'm sitting here. I'm fucking hot. My nuts are dirty.
You didn't know. There was one thing today you just didn't know. Like, you're like, oh, before... Like, you just do this all the time. Like,
Yeah.
we were all looking for a chord for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then we turned the mics off on the sound check, and then straight away Lewis goes, oh, the microphone's here. And we're like, we're not looking for the mic. He goes, oh, so you just were looking for a microphone, which was right here
Yeah.
for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you just still didn't even see that.
You misunderstand, Luke. I was not helping at all. And
Yeah.
then when I tried to
No,
help
yeah.
with 1%
Well, that's
of my
been an-
energy, I heard 30% of the conversation and pointed at the wrong thing. and was like, man, I'm doing a great job today.
We need to do a couple of updates before we end.
Yeah, I got one thought. I have an
okay.
actual good thought, and then we'll move on.
The second update was Lewis has kind of picked up his game with helping out. Within 48 hours of that episode being released, he really picked it up, and now he's just slacked off again.
Yeah.
Because Dylan doesn't have nearly a... Like, Dylan does way too much stuff for Lewis. Dylan babies Lewis.
He loves it, though, don't
Yeah,
you, mate?
Dylan takes really good
He's
care
nodding.
of Lewis, but Zach used to be like, you're a fucking grub, pick up after yourself. But Dylan just goes, oh, Lewis has left his jeans there. I'm just going to put them out of the way. And I
Yeah.
just look around all day, and Dylan's just throwing your rubbish in the bin.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, boys, I'm just going to be back. And he's
Why do
psyched
you
to do
think
it.
before Dylan arrived, you were like, what's he like? And I said, mate, he's great.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I've never toured with Dylan. Is he good? And Lewis was such a big rap for you. And now I know because you literally wipe his ass.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. He does it because it inconveniences him. But when he picks up after you, he doesn't fucking yell at you like
Yeah,
Zach.
that's true. Zach's a very mean bloke.
We love Zach.
Last thought. This one, I think it's from a fake name, but whatever. Hey, Luke and Lewis, I really love the show. Blah, blah, blah. I had this weird thought. So, this is a great one.
Yeah.
This one made me
Really?
go, this
Rare.
is good. Okay. I had this weird thought. Oh, is the music still playing? 'Cause
Oh,
if it is, we
nah.
can't hear it. Okay. Sorry if it was been playing for ages when we weren't doing thought
Nah, I
stuff.
would have
We can't
stopped
hear
after
it.
like 3 minutes.
Okay. I had this weird thought the other day. So, if you had an open cut somewhere on your body and then you had another open cut somewhere else, would they grow together if you held them next to each other for long enough? For example, let's say I had a cut on both my index fingers and then held them together. Would the skin heal and attach the two fingers together, as surely your body doesn't know which finger has what cells?
Oh, you could
That's a good one.
like make yourself have conjoined fingers.
Yeah.
Say if you cut the inside of both your fingers and then tape them together. That's a better one, right?
Yeah.
That's not a good look. Anyway, you tape them together.
This has nothing to do with fingering.
Mate, I'm very horny. Right, so say if you cut the inside of these fingers.
Luke goes like this. He's like, fuck, how good's pussy? That's why you were just lost when we went to the fish and
I was
chip
about to
shop,
say
huh?
something bad. So, if you cut the inside of two fingers,
Yeah.
right, then
And
you
you-
tape them together.
Yeah. What
Do
does
you
this have to
reckon
do
they
with
get
pussy?
stuck?
Nothing?
Nothing to do with
okay,
pussy.
Okay, great.
Do you reckon they get stuck?
I think so. I mean, if
No, unless
there's
you
a-
slash them all completely up.
that happens to like burns victims,
You would have
doesn't
to
it?
deeply slash
Stop
them.
saying deeply. I'm getting horny. Guys, I need a shower. A cold shower. Not a Zach shower, a cold one.
All right.
But that happens to burns victims, doesn't it? If
Their skin gets slack, doesn't grow back like it normally does. Yeah.
But it would grow together. I don't know.
So, I mean, I don't want to talk about it because I'm very uninformed,
Mm.
but I don't want to say that.
What?
A burns victim often looks like their skin's been welded.
Yeah.
Like, say,
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
if you burnt your two fingers, then
Yes.
they'd melt together. But
Yeah.
that's not
It's not really
growing
healing
together.
together.
That's
Yeah.
like welding your
different.
fingers together, which is fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same thing. Burns
No.
and the way burns go back and what is described in this thought, I think are two different things.
I feel like it would. If two cuts on the index finger and you held them together and you
Sound
didn't
off
move them.
below.
What do you think? Sound off below,
And
guys.
also, let us know if you're horny as well. And we might even tug you off, depending on how many more days we have to stay here.
Yeah. So, guys, that's going to be it from us. No horny shit in the DMs. We don't need it.
Well, no, I just said sound off if you're horny. So
Oh,
there's
okay.
probably already horny shit in the in.
Just not in the DMs.
Oh, in the
though.
DMs,
Yeah,
yeah.
publicly, be horny in public. Just don't. Yeah.
That's our problem, isn't
Guys,
it? Like
what?
we haven't been. That's probably the reason why we're so publicly horny this episode is because there's been no sly horniness happening.
Yeah, there's absolutely none at all. We really kept it under wraps last week, but
Yeah.
fuck, that. That's why we had to put out an emergency episode. We talked about fucking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Couldn't put it out.
No, it's not true.
Not true, no. Guys, thank you very much for listening. Grab tickets to our Melbourne Comedy Festival shows. They are on sale now. We are performing at the same venue, different times back to back. So you can see Luke perform, and then you can see me perform on the same night, same venue, still meet us both. So I highly recommend you do that. Completely different shows. They're both absolute bangers. Luke's tickets on his website, my tickets on mine.
And both our tickets should be on Luke and Lewis soon, or are now. I haven't checked.
Yeah.
Yeah, LukeHidget.com, LouSpears.com.
Yep.
And I'm also touring. Like after that, I've got Brisbane, Sydney, Adelaide, Perth, and every other show place on sale.
Yep.
And
also, loosespears.com/watch for my TV pilot, which comes out on the 27th. It's really, really good. It's really funny. I'm dropping some clips on Instagram. Check them out. They're very good, and all of the money goes towards filming an entire series.
it's really funny. You should
Yep.
definitely go buy it. A, it's a cool thing to support, and B, it's hella good.
Yeah.
And also, Sydney people, my Sydney show is half sold out already, and it's in like 2 months. So
Fuck yeah.
get on it quick.
All
Cool.
right. That's going to be it from us. See you later.
I'm going to have a wank.
What?